Annunciation by Marie Howe. Even if I don't see it again, nor ever feel it, I know it is. And that if once it hailed me, it ever does. And so it is myself I want to turn in that direction, not as towards a place, but it was a tilting within myself. As one turns a mirror to flash the light to where it isn't, I was blinded like that and swam in what shone at me, only able to endure it by being no one, and so specifically myself, I thought I'd die from being loved like that.
I heard the bells on Christmas Day by Henry Wadsworth Longfellow. I heard the bells on Christmas Day, their old familiar carols play, and wild and sweet the words repeat of peace on earth, goodwill to men. And thought how, as the day had come, the belfries of all Christendom had rolled along the unbroken song of peace on earth, goodwill to men. And in my despair, I bowed my head. There is no peace on earth, I said, for hate is strong and mocks the song of peace on earth, goodwill to men. Then pealed the bells more loud and deep. God is not dead, nor doth he sleep. The wrong shall fail, the right prevail, with peace on earth, goodwill to men, till ringing, singing on its way, the world revolved from night to day, a voice, a chime, a chant sublime of peace on earth, goodwill to men.
This is from For the Time Being, a Christmas oratorio by W.H. Auden. It was completed in 1942, and I'm reading a long part from the narrator at the very end, and then the final chorus. Well, so that is that. Now we must dismantle the tree, putting the decorations back into their cardboard boxes, some have got broken, and carrying them up to the attic. The holly and the mistletoe must be taken down and burnt, and the children got ready for school. There are enough leftovers to do warmed up for the rest of the week. Not that we have much appetite. Having drunk such a lot, stayed up so late, attempted quite unsuccessfully to love all our relatives, and in general grossly overestimated our powers. Once again, as in previous years, we have seen the actual vision and failed to do more than entertain it as an agreeable possibility. Once again, we have sent him away, begging, though, to remain his disobedient servant, the promising child who cannot keep his word for long. The Christmas feast is already a fading memory, and already the mind begins to be vaguely aware of an unpleasant whiff of apprehension at the thought of Lent and Good Friday, which cannot, after all now, be very far off. But for the time being, here we all are, back in the moderate Aristotelian city of Darning and the 815, where Euclid's geometry and Newton's mechanics would account for our experience. And the kitchen table exists because I scrub it. It seems to have shrunk during the holidays. The streets are much narrower than we remembered. We had forgotten the office was as depressing as this. To those who have seen the child, however, dimly, however incredulously, the time being is, in a sense, the most trying time of all. For the innocent children who whispered so excitedly outside the locked door where they knew the presents to be, grew up when it opened. Now, recollecting that moment, we can repress the joy, but the guilt remains conscious. Remembering the stable where for once in our lives everything became a you and nothing was an it. And craving the sensation but ignoring the cause, we look round for something, no matter what, to inhibit our self-reflection. And the obvious thing for that purpose would be some great suffering. So once we have met the Son, we are tempted ever after to pray to the Father, lead us into temptation and evil for our sake. They will come all right, don't worry. probably in a form that we do not expect, and certainly with a force more dreadful than we can imagine. In the meantime, there are bills to be paid, machines to keep in repair, irregular verbs to learn. The time being to redeem from insignificance. The happy morning is over, the night of agony still to come. The time is noon, when the spirit must practice his scales of rejoicing without even a hostile audience, and the soul endure a silence that is neither for nor against her faith, that God's will be done, that in spite of her prayers, God will cheat no one, not even the world, of its triumph. Chorus. He is the way. Follow him through the land of unlikeness. You will see rare beasts and have unique adventures. He is the truth. Seek him in the kingdom of anxiety. You will come to a great city that has expected your return for years. He is the life. Love him in the world of the flesh. And at your marriage, all its occasions shall dance for joy.
In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God, and the Word was with God. The Word is important in our tradition, and that's one of the reasons why we get to dwell with some words, especially today on our Poetry Sunday. And that's one of the kind of not one of the Christmas stories we think of when we think of the story of the birth of Jesus, but it is one of the stories from John's Gospel. In the beginning was the Word. So I'm going to invite us into a little time with our own words. One of the other Christmas stories begins, the one we probably remember from Christmas Eve, which was, in those days, a decree went out, blah, 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 we know that. But in those days, and I was dwelling with Auden's poem that Christina just read so beautifully about the time being, and invite us into a time of reflection with words and with silence around what this time being is for you right now and for each of us. And so I invite you to grab maybe your order of worship or a prayer card or any kind of blank enough page and a pencil from your pew rack, and we'll take just a few moments together in some prayerful writing time. And you don't have to think of yourself as a poet to let some words flow through you. And our prompt together is very, very simple. It's simply, these are the days, just like in those days. And I invite you into just a free flow stream of consciousness. And it might be quite literal. These are the days of events that are currently happening, or it might just be snatches, glimpses of images from your days this Christmas week or this greater season of your life. And we'll just take some time together. So it might be, these are the days of saying hello or saying goodbye, or these are the days of microwaved coffee because I don't have time to drink it while it's hot, or These are the days of PJs till 4 p.m. or heartbreak or whatever it might be today. So grab some paper, get comfortable, and I invite us to reflect through the word together on this time being. These are the days. I invite anybody who would like to. I'll start. If you want to shout out a line or two, you're invited. So we'll create kind of a collage poem together. And if you would rather keep your words to your own page, that is absolutely okay. And if there's silence, all the better, because God speaks into the silence as well. And I invite you to speak in your loudest outside voice to fill this beautiful cavernous sanctuary. And no order required. And let's reflect together on this time being.
Of harvesting and of sowing, of gathering in and of letting go.
The, These are the days of try, mama, and help, daddy, of 4 a.m. screams and sweetest hugs doled out, of showers stolen during nap times, of elders gone to glory and tiny new ones in dino footies. These are the days of impeachment and debates and children separated and outrage and unrest, of welcome rain, of slowly longer days, of carols and pine needles and cardboard castles in the garage.
These are the days we fight for love, we listen to our neighbors, we love the unlovable, we cherish our children.
These are the days of in-between, of gray areas, of tears and grief and sorrow, and joy and laughter, in torrents and in trickles.
These are the days I question God, where are you? These are the days I come to be held by my community, which is God. These are the days I hold my husband and my daughter closer, and the days I miss God.
These are the days of exaltation and
These are our days and God's. May God weave your love through all of these words and the space between these words to hold us together all the more deeply today and in all the days to come. Amen. Thank you.